What if I told you that you could make your penis look bigger at home, and it wouldn't cost you anything? Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's be very clear from the start. I'm not talking about pills, creams, supplements, or anything marketed online that promises unrealistic results. As a urologist, I can tell you directly, none of those products will permanently increase size. I'm Dr. Rubby, a urologist and pelvic health specialist, and today I want to focus on something much more realistic and actually useful, simple, practical changes that can improve how things appear without surgery, medication, or expense. Many men quietly think about size at some point in their lives. It's one of the most common concerns I hear in clinical practice. But what most people don't realize is that appearance and actual size are not always the same thing. A surprising amount of perceived length is influenced by surrounding tissue, posture, and even lifestyle habits. That means there are ways to make a noticeable visual difference without changing anatomy itself. So instead of chasing unrealistic solutions, let's talk about what actually works. There are a few simple, completely free strategies that can make a visible difference in how the penis appears. These are not tricks. They are based on anatomy, physics, and physiology. And the interesting part is that most men overlook them completely. We're going to break them down into a few practical steps that focus on grooming, body composition, stress levels, and overall vascular health. Because when you understand how the body works, you realize that perception can change significantly without any medical intervention. Let's start with the most immediate and easiest adjustment you can make. The first and simplest method is grooming, specifically trimming or removing excess pubic hair. This might sound basic, but it has a surprisingly strong visual impact. In many men, dense or long pubic hair can partially cover the base of the penis. This creates the illusion of reduced length even when nothing has changed anatomically. Think of it like viewing an object partially hidden behind fabric. The object hasn't changed, only what you can see has. By trimming or maintaining the area, more of the natural base becomes visible. That alone can make a noticeable difference in appearance. The second factor is body weight, and this is where many men are surprised. When fat accumulates in the lower abdominal and pubic region, it can physically cover part of the penile base. This doesn't change actual size, but it does reduce visible length. The erectile structure of the penis actually extends deeper into the pelvis than most people realize. That means a portion of it is always internal. When weight increases, especially around the lower abdomen, more of that structure becomes hidden beneath soft tissue. This is why some men feel like they've lost length over time when in reality, it's simply less visible. On the other hand, when weight is reduced, more of the base becomes exposed. This creates a natural increase in visible length without any anatomical change. It's one of the most effective and overlooked factors in appearance. But it's not just about looks. Weight management also improves blood flow, hormonal balance, and overall sexual health. So this step provides both visual and functional benefits. Now let's move to something less obvious but equally important: the role of stress and anxiety. Most men don't associate stress with physical size, but the connection is very real. The penis contains smooth muscle tissue that is highly responsive to the nervous system. When the body is relaxed, blood flows freely and tissues remain expanded and healthy. But when stress or anxiety increases, the body releases adrenaline, a hormone designed for survival situations. Adrenaline causes blood vessels and smooth muscle to tighten. In the penis, this can create a temporary contraction effect, making it appear smaller than usual. Some men even notice that during periods of high stress or anxiety, the penis seems to retract more than normal. This is not permanent. It is a physiological response to nervous system activation. Once the stress levels decrease, the tissue returns to its normal state. But chronic stress is a different issue. When the body remains in a prolonged state of tension, blood flow efficiency can decrease over time. This doesn't just affect appearance, it can also influence erectile quality and tissue health. That's why managing stress is not just a mental health recommendation. It directly affects physical function. Relaxation techniques, exercise, sleep quality, and mental well-being all contribute to better circulation and reduced sympathetic nervous system overactivation. In simpler terms, when your body is calm, everything works more efficiently, including blood flow to the genital area. And this brings us to another important point: regular erections and tissue health. Erections are not only important for intimacy, they also play a key role in maintaining tissue health. During an erection, blood flows into the penile tissue, delivering oxygen and nutrients. This process keeps the tissue elastic, healthy, and functional. In many cases, natural erections occur during sleep or early morning hours. This is the body's way of maintaining regular oxygenation and preventing long-term stiffness in the tissue. When erections occur regularly, the penile structure remains well oxygenated and flexible. However, when erections become infrequent or absent over long periods, the tissue does not receive the same level of oxygenation. Over time, this can lead to reduced elasticity and structural changes. In clinical settings, we see this more clearly in men who experience prolonged erectile dysfunction after certain surgeries or nerve injuries. In those cases, reduced oxygen flow can lead to measurable changes in size and tissue quality over time. This is why maintaining healthy erectile function is important not just for sexual performance, but also for long-term structural preservation. If someone is experiencing difficulty with erections, it is always worth discussing with a medical professional. Many underlying causes are treatable, and early intervention can prevent long-term complications. The key takeaway is this: penile health is closely linked to circulation, nerve function, and overall wellness. So when you combine all the factors we've discussed, grooming, body composition, stress management, and vascular health, you begin to see how appearance and function are influenced by multiple interconnected systems. There is no magic trick, but there are very real, very practical ways to optimize what you already have. And most importantly, understanding your body removes unnecessary insecurity. Because confidence doesn't come from exaggeration, it comes from knowledge and control over your health. So focus on what you can improve naturally, take care of your body, and don't fall for unrealistic promises. When your overall health improves, everything else tends to follow. And that is the most reliable enhancement there is. Because what happens internally over time has a direct effect on structure and function.